Tonight, let us embark on a journey across the sands of time, beneath the endless desert sky, where the winds whisper secrets of an ancient world. Close your eyes, allow your breath to slow, and listen as the gentle tale unfolds. For in the heart of Egypt, among golden dunes and eternal monuments, there rests a guardian carved from stone and mystery, the Sphinx. The narrator's voice, calm and steady, invites you to imagine yourself drifting along the river Nile. The water glimmers under the moonlight, carrying the fragrance of lotus blossoms. Along its banks, palm trees sway gently, while the sound of distant flutes lingers in the air. As you journey deeper into this land, pyramids rise against the horizon, silent and eternal, their sharp edges kissed by the fading light of the sun. And there, keeping watch for thousands of years, lies the figure of the Sphinx, half lion, half human, gazing eastward as if guarding the sunrise. The people of Egypt called it Abu al-Hawl, the father of terror, though it was not terror in the sense of fear alone. It was awe, reverence, and the quiet shiver of standing before something beyond human understanding. To the Greeks, it became the Sphinx, a riddle bearer, a creature of challenge and mystery. And to the pharaohs, it was a silent protector, a bridge between the realm of gods and mortals. But what is the story of this timeless guardian? Why was it carved? What secrets does it hold within its silent gaze? To answer, we must wander not only through the deserts of Egypt, but also through the realms of myth, where gods and mortals lived side by side, and where stone was given a soul. The Sphinx is more than a statue. It is a memory of an age when kings walked as gods, when the sun itself was worshipped, and when every grain of sand seemed to whisper of eternity. Tonight, let us begin with its birth. Not of stone alone, but of legend. The story begins long ago, when the great pharaoh Khafre ruled Egypt. The people raised monuments to honor his power and his connection to the divine. They believed the gods had given him authority over land and sky. And in his vision, the lion was a symbol of might, while the human face was the symbol of divine wisdom. Together, they would form the Sphinx, the eternal watcher. And yet, though carved by human hands, the Sphinx soon slipped into the realm of myth. Whispers told that beneath its paws were hidden chambers of sacred knowledge. Some even believed that when the desert winds howled across its face, they carried the voice of the gods themselves. Now, rest as we step deeper into its mysteries. Imagine the cool desert night, stars scattered across the sky, and the sound of soft sand beneath your feet. Ahead, the Sphinx waits, its shadows stretching across the land. This is the beginning of our story, the legend of the Sphinx. The Sphinx stood not far from the Nile, where the river gave life to the desert. It was carved from the bedrock of the plateau, watching over the rising sun as it spread its golden light upon the pyramids of Giza. But to the ancient Egyptians, the Sphinx was never only stone. It was alive in the imagination, a bridge between the mortal and the eternal. To understand the Sphinx, one must also know the gods of Egypt, for the two were deeply connected. The lion's body spoke of Sekhmet, the fierce lion-headed goddess of war and protection. Her roar was said to shake the heavens, and her strength guarded pharaohs on the battlefield. The human face, carved with the likeness of a king, echoed Ra, the sun god, whose light gave life to all things. And in the silent gaze of the Sphinx, people saw Horus, the falcon god, whose eyes never missed the movements of friend or foe. Thus, the Sphinx was not a single being, but a union of powers, strength, wisdom, and vision. Priests in white robes came at dawn to stand before the Sphinx. They poured libations of milk and wine into the sand. They whispered prayers into the dry air, asking the guardian to protect Egypt, to shield it from chaos, and to bless the pharaoh with the wisdom of the gods. And as the first rays of the sun struck the Sphinx face, people believed it came alive, drinking in the light of Ra and carrying it into the earth. Legends grew. Some said the Sphinx had been there long before the pyramids, built by the gods themselves. Others claimed it held beneath its paws hidden chambers filled with scrolls of secret wisdom, maps of the stars, knowledge of life and death, perhaps even the story of creation itself. One tale spoke of a wanderer who came from a far land. He walked alone across the desert, his skin burned by the sun, his lips cracked with thirst. When he collapsed in the sands before the Sphinx, he dreamed. In his vision, the Sphinx opened its mouth and spoke. Its voice was like wind through stone, deep and eternal. It told him, "Rise, traveler, for the sands may bury you, but wisdom will lift you." When he awoke, he found a jug of water beside him, though no human had been near. He returned home and became a healer, teaching his people kindness and balance, saying always that the Sphinx had given him life. But perhaps the most famous legend is that of Thutmose, a prince long before he became pharaoh. He hunted one hot afternoon near the Giza plateau. Exhausted, he lay down in the shadow of the Sphinx, the desert heat pressing against his skin. As he slept, he dreamed. The Sphinx spoke to him. "I am your father, the sun god Ra-Horakhti. The sands of the desert threaten to bury me. If you clear the sand from my body and honor me, you shall wear the crown of Egypt." When Thutmose awoke, he remembered the dream as if it were carved in his heart. He called men to dig the sand away, to reveal once more the Sphinx in all its glory. In time, he became Pharaoh Thutmose IV, and to honor the vision, he placed a great stone tablet between the Sphinx's paws, the dream stele, so that all would remember the day the Sphinx chose him to rule. And still the legends grew. Some said the Sphinx tested travelers with riddles, though this tale grew more popular in Greek times. The Greek version spoke of a winged creature, asking the question, what walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 legs in the evening? To those who could not answer, death awaited. But to those who answered correctly, man who crawls as a child, walks upright as an adult, and leans on a staff in old age, the Sphinx gave safe passage. Egyptians, however, believed the Sphinx to be less cruel, more guardian than destroyer. It was a protector, not a predator. It did not slay, but rather watched. It did not threaten, but rather warned. Its silence was its riddle, and its presence its answer. Imagine now the desert at dusk. The air cools and shadows grow long. The pyramids stand like mountains of stone, silent but eternal. The Sphinx gazes eastward, waiting for another dawn, as it has done for thousands of years. Beside it, stories gather like grains of sand, each one carried by the wind. There are tales of merchants who lit fires near the Sphinx at night and swore they saw its eyes glow. Tales of priests who said they heard a deep hum like chanting when they placed their ears against its stone body. Tales of children who dreamed of playing beside it, only to awaken with tiny handfuls of sand in their beds. The Sphinx is not only a monument, it is memory itself, shaped into stone.
As the night falls softly over the Giza plateau, the desert air cools and the stars begin to glitter like tiny lanterns in the sky. Imagine the Sphinx watching over simple, quiet lives. These are the small stories that the Guardian witnessed across centuries, stories that may have seemed ordinary, yet became eternal in the presence of stone. A young girl, no older than 7, wandered to the edge of the plateau, clutching a small necklace that had been her mother's. She had dropped it earlier and searched for hours under the blazing sun. Exhausted, she fell asleep in the shadow of the Sphinx. When she awoke, the necklace was back, resting gently on the sand, as if returned by unseen hands. She left a small loaf of bread as thanks, whispering a quiet prayer to Isis. The Sphinx, patient and silent, kept watch. In another tale, a shy boy served in the temple, sweeping floors and carrying water for priests. One evening, the lead singer forgot a hymn, and the boy, timid yet brave, sang softly. His voice rose gently in the cool night air. The priestess smiled and taught him new melodies. Years later, he became a wise lector, known for his calm guidance in the temple. The Sphinx had witnessed the beginning of his journey. And a traveler from distant lands arrived, weary and hungry, his skin scorched by the desert sun. Villagers offered him bread and shelter. In return, he mended roofs, carried water, and told stories of faraway seas. When he left behind a small token, a carved stone placed at the Sphinx's base. A child found it and whispered, "For kindness." The Sphinx, silent and eternal, accepted the gift. Even merchants and traders passing through the desert claimed that when the moon was full, they could hear a soft hum emanating from the Sphinx. Some said it was the guardian's breath. Others said it was the whisper of long-forgotten gods. People came to leave small offerings, bread, wine, incense, little charms, always whispering their wishes and their thanks. Through these small acts, the Sphinx became more than a monument. It became a companion, a silent witness to human joy, sorrow, dreams, and daily life. Each story, though fleeting, was folded into its eternal gaze.
Beneath the Sphinx, legends speak of hidden chambers, passages, and secret rooms. Some say priests kept sacred texts, scrolls that contained maps of the stars, instructions for rituals, or knowledge of life and death. Others whispered of sleeping gods resting beneath the paws, waiting for a world ready to understand their presence. Modern archaeologists have explored tunnels near the Sphinx, discovering small chambers and carved passages, though no grand palace of gold exists beneath it. Yet the idea itself endures, because the heart of humanity wishes to believe that behind the silent face of stone, secrets and wisdom rest, patient and watchful. Far to the west, the Greeks told a tale of a sphinx who asked riddles and punished those who failed. In Egypt, the guardian asked no cruel questions. Its riddle was gentle and hidden, carried in the patience of its gaze and the quiet wisdom of its presence. If it could ask a question, perhaps it would be this: what grows when given away, travels without feet, and brings two people closer without moving a step? The answer, softly whispered, is a story. A story grows with each telling, travels across time and space, and connects teller and listener without movement at all. Every whispered prayer, every small gift of bread, every quiet act witnessed by the Sphinx is part of this riddle, the riddle of life, kindness, and memory. Centuries came and went. Pharaohs rose and fell. Kingdoms expanded and crumbled like sandcastles in the wind. Traders arrived from distant lands, speaking new languages, sharing new customs. Travelers painted or carved the Sphinx's likeness, sometimes exaggerating its size or features. Generations of priests performed rituals, sang hymns, and left offerings. And yet, the Sphinx remained. Weathered by sun, wind, and occasional floods, its features softened, but its gaze remained steadfast. Its strength was not only in stone, but in patience. It bore witness to human life, quietly and without judgment. Imagine now the sunrise. The desert glows gold. A caravan of merchants moves slowly across the plateau, camels plodding steadily, children laughing, and women carrying water jars. All of this passes beneath the Sphinx, yet the guardian notices every detail. Every act of kindness, every whispered prayer, every shared story is recorded, silently, in the presence of eternity. As our tale draws to its gentle close, picture the desert at twilight. The sun sinks slowly, painting the sand in shades of orange and deep purple. The Sphinx watches the horizon, its shadow stretching long and calm across the plateau. Stars begin to appear, and the cool night air hums softly. The Sphinx asks nothing of us but this: be gentle, keep your promises, tell your stories, care for one another. In the quiet of the desert night, every small act matters. Bread left at a shrine, a whispered prayer, a story shared under the stars. These are the monuments of the human heart, as lasting as stone. Tonight, sleep with the warmth of this gentle guardian beside you. Let the tales of the Sphinx, of princes, travelers, children, and gods drift softly into your dreams. Know that time passes, empires fall, and yet kindness and memory remain, just like the silent, eternal Sphinx. Good night, dear friends. Thank you for walking this desert of history with me. May your dreams be soft, steady, and full of quiet wonder.